Hello everyone and welcome to the RGDS podcast. I'm your host Gordon King, also known as Kingy, and this is a very special episode. There's not two of us on it, but three hosts all together. Now that's a rare occasion, so who is first to speak to me? It's Alistair, also known as Almac on our Discord channel. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, sir. How's yourself?
Very well, thank you very much. And then on the second seat is the one and only Garron, Retro Schmupper. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me on this episode. Now, for those that don't know, it's all about the Gamecube, and in particular, the Netplay feature that we did for this, which is just the same as sitting with your mates on the couch. Multiplayer, really. That's what we're on about here. But because we don't live near each other and we don't have any mates that come round to our houses anymore, it was Al's, very clever idea for an episode one. Well, why don't we try the Netplay feature out on the Dolphin emulator, which then allows us all connect like we're all sitting next to each other on the couch and play a whole selection of multiplayer games, which is really good then because it's not very often that we chat about any multiplayer games in general. It's more the single player modes that we've played on some of these games. So it's a nice different angle, I think, and a lot of laughs. And if you're watching the YouTube version of this, I'm sure it'll dip in and out of the footage that we've recorded of much swearing, much banter, much laughter, as well as us discussing the episode. But before that, fellas, any exciting retro-wise been happening in your lives? I'll start with yourself, Garden.
I've just been playing some games, but on the release of Eartheon this week, so that's come out on Steam.
Yep.
It's a horizontal shmup. Was originally aimed for the Mega Drive, and that's coming out next year. So on Steam at the moment it's £15. So it looks a really good game. It looks like they've eked out all the power of the Mega Drive chip. So I'm looking forward to I'll play it on Steam sometime over the next week or so and get the cart next week. We have had, I think we've all had our analog 64 controllers delivered, haven't we? All the 8-bit Doom
yes.
64 controllers.
Yeah.
Just to tease us a little bit for that. So I think we've got the consoles arriving imminently, haven't we? I think they'll be.
Yeah, it should be this month, shouldn't it? It's meant to be August shipping.
Yeah, we'll do an episode on that as soon as they arrive and see what we feel about it.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Every other kind of console they've released has been quality, and I think that they've held the price. I think they've done really well with all the tariffs, haven't they, to make sure it's delivered as promised, the price point. So happy
with no
about
Trumponian tariff costs or
well, probably is, but just not passed on to us, which is good.
Yeah, which I think is very good. Probably on their next console, they'll make up for it on that, maybe.
Well, that's the trouble. It's not really about them selling to us more than the tariffs of the importing of the components from China for assembly. That's really where it will hit them the most.
Yeah, it's really interesting. That's a whole other show, the RGDS tariff discussion show.
That's a right dry one, that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure many people will get listening to that.
No, we'll get Paul in on that one. It'll be 3 hours long.
Oh, he's not here to defend himself.
Yeah, no, but he'd love it. He would love it.
Yeah, he would.
So what I ordered today, the Lego arcade machine was available to order today. I think it's about £35, which is a nice... it's just a nice little Lego kit. I mean, a lot of the Lego kits are quite expensive, but that one's quite a good one, quite relevant to us. It's got a little shoot 'em up on the screen, so I thought I'll need to buy that. And I've just kind of read now that there's a playable demo, the new Shinobi, that's available, which looks quite good. But other than that, it has been on the Gamecube. Like I've been playing it with you guys on Dolphin, but then on the CRT upstairs. So yeah, a little bit retro-wise for me.
Awesome. And yourself, Almac?
Yeah, probably. I mean, similar to an extent of the GameCube stuff and mucking around with the Dolphin emulator, a lot of the Netplay stuff. That's been really good fun. Not too much retro-wise. I mean, like Garron said, controllers arrived the other day there for the Analog 64. I'll be actually heading to the States again for the last half of August, so I'm very hopeful. I think I leave Austin on the 30th of August. I'm just hoping it arrives whilst I'm there. It doesn't arrive the day after.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I can bring that back with me, so fingers crossed there. And I'm actually not long back from a trip to Austin as well, so I've been pretty busy. I was there for, I think we chatted on the SNES show actually. I was about to go there, so that was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A little bit of Vegas time. Went to the Sphere, which was an absolutely incredible venue for a concert.
Imagine a racing game made just for the Sphere. You sat in the centre of the theatre.
Oh my God.
With a controller. You'd have the vomits, or playing an elite like space shooter. Something so immersive in that would be fantastic. Or a flight sim, it'd be good.
I mean, I'll show you some footage.
Manic Miner on the full fucking screen. That's what I want.
Some size pixels there, bloody hell. But yes, I mean the screen's amazing. The sounds is actually what surprised me the most. It was really good. We had a guy actually come to our work recently. We do a lot of stuff around audio and things within our work, and we had the guy in actually who designed and implemented the sound system for the Sphere. I think it cost them over $1 billion, which is
Holy
ridiculous.
Shit.
But the whole premise about it is that it doesn't matter if you're at the bottom of the stage. I think it's like it holds 17 to 18,000 people inside this venue. It doesn't matter if you're down the front of the stage, far to the left, or if you're in the last seat right up in the gods. Every single person should get exactly the same sound experience. That's
phenomenal.
What it's all about. So it's an amazing place. So
wow.
Yeah, but so I think apart from that, didn't do any sort of retro pickups this time while I was there. Just too busy with work stuff, unfortunately.
Aye.
But yeah, I'm heading back in a couple of weeks' time again for, as I say, the last half of August, unfortunately, for a busy time again.
Okay. Cool. For myself, probably not that much because I'm not that long off the back of doing the Ridge Racer episode with Drisky, so I've not had much sort of downtime apart from doing games for the episodes. Just a little bit more on the 8-bit Do controller that we got for this Analog 64. So I did try it out on Project 64 emulator on the PC there. I didn't like it to start off with. I was getting a bit grumpy then. I just decided it was going to work. I don't know what had happened. But anyway, it works perfectly well with it. And I played a few things and it's great. It's a well-made controller. Feels very comfortable in the hands. The buttons are responsive. The analog stick's really good. So, yeah, it's going to be good when we get this console through. And to be honest, I'm going to sit with Donkey Kong 64. I played it for a good chunk, but then I just drifted away years ago and never went back to it. So I'm kind of really looking forward to just going back to the beginning and milking that game for all it's worth. And to see it then upscaled and working on the big TV in the living room should be good.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to getting it. As Garron said earlier, they've made some quality consoles and the handhelds. I've got the handheld, which is really good as well. So yeah. I kind of did think it might never actually make it at one point, so I'm glad to see that it's finally going to be delivered.
It's amazing, I think, companies like that, where you hear all the other takedowns by Nintendo, why, and maybe there is a reason, I don't know, and they get the blessings or whatever the hell, how they can release something like that and not get the Nintendo lawyers set upon them. Like the Hounds from Hell. I don't know. I've never really read into any of it, to be honest. I'm quite blissfully ignorant, truth be told, but it just always surprises me that.
Yeah, and was an alternative one as well, right? That somebody else was bringing out to kind of rival with.
There's another one coming out this year that I've read, or early next year. So, but I think we're back to the right pony on this one. Then I don't know. You've bought it, so time will tell. So,
fair play, touche. It's a fair comment, though.
I'm being cruel. I apologise. On public record. Okay then, so as we said earlier there, this is all about GameCube multiplayer games. So whether you are playing it with friends at home on a CRTV, or you're doing it on the Dolphin emulator at home with the Wii U adapter that allows more controllers in, or lots of USB devices into your computer, whatever way you do it and enjoy these games, this is just a celebration of that. But as I said there, it was Al's suggestion we tried the Netplay on this for the episode, and I think it's a very good one, simply because it allowed us to play together, and we don't do that enough, just meeting up with friends like we used to. So I thought it was a really good one. Good idea, Al. But more on that in a minute. But in terms of the GameCube then, chaps, because it's been a while since we've covered this console in the RGDS podcast anyway, so let's go to you first, Al, then, and just what were your experiences? Did you get near enough at the beginning of its release and such?
Pretty much. I mean, I've always been, as though people we've mentioned before, I backgrown a pony sometimes with some of the consoles I've maybe chosen over the years, like the Jaguar and other things. But I've always been a Nintendo fanboy, so I've always bought their consoles, and I held off on the GameCube right at the very, very beginning of its launch date, and then I was actually made redundant from the job I was in at the time, and I was lucky enough to get in our job, pretty quickly. I think a week or two later, and then what came through the post was actually a severance check from my previous employer, which I was not expecting. I hadn't been there that long before they went under, so I got a check for 250, 300 quid or something. And unbeknownst to my wife at the time, I just went straight off and basically bought myself the GameCube. So that is what I did with my money, and didn't regret it at all. And I still have the same GameCube to this very day. Got quite a nice little selection of, the Wavebirds and peripherals, and still got, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 original games that I had from back in the day as well. So it's always had a good place in my collection anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that. And yourself, Garron?
I bought one on American import, and I
nice.
brought one back from the States. I brought a couple back, if I'm honest, from the States. Brought one back from a mate. A bit like Al said, a bit of a Nintendo fanboy with the console. So a lot of my collection is American. If I'm honest, I was going back and forth to America probably 3 or 4 times a year when this was current, and I've got PAL games as well. I then wanted to go on to, I enjoyed the console a lot. I played it a lot. It's got some great games on it. And then I wanted some of the Japanese games. So I could have bought a freeloader disc, which I did in the end, but I then bought a Japanese console and got into some of the Japanese games. It's got a few more kind of smups on the Japanese system, so I picked those up at the time. And I've come over the time. I've got quite a few GameCubes. I've got the Panasonic Q, which is a lovely looking system. I got that from
very nice. Very jealous of that.
I got that back from Lixang back in the day. I mean, they're a fragile piece of kit, and I'll be honest, I haven't used it for probably nearly a couple of decades now. But I'll have to get that looked at. The tray, the teeth and tray go brittle, but it's a lovely console. But the one I use a lot, I've got a couple of the Spice orange ones, with matching Game Boy adapters, and the controllers and the Game Boy is the same colour of it. So I'm a real fan. It's probably my favourite least played console. So I was really pleased when we said we're going back to look at the GameCube. It sort of made me play it. Like Al said, I've got like the Wavebird and a few peripherals for it. But it is a great game with so much kind of versatility with it. And I think one of the good things at launch, it was a really cheap console, wasn't it? I think it's about 130 quid, wasn't it?
Yeah,
far cheaper.
It was reasonable. Yeah, I mean, I remember picking it up along with extra controllers and a whole bunch of games as well. And it didn't seem to cost me that much.
No, I think when I got it from America, the exchange rate was around $2 for every pound, so it made it feel even cheaper when I picked that up. But some of the bits I like, that the American and the PAL games have got the the spine art is slightly different. It's quite easy to tell. We've got the GameCube, one's got it at the top and one's got it at the bottom. But yeah, if it's a fantastic little system, yeah, it's a bit of my history of it. What about you, Gordon?
Yeah, I probably waited about 6 months after its release just to see what all the fuss was about, and played it at my mate's house, gave it a go there. Wasn't overly enamoured with Mario Sunshine as much as I loved Mario 64. It was still good, don't get me wrong, but the difficulty level in it was incredibly frustrating, and I found the camera angle just not quite as refined as previously seen in Mario 64. But I was really getting into PC gaming at that point. I was deciding, have I finished with consoles again, so, but then I'd saved some money and I went down and I saw it. Well, actually, would you believe I was about to buy an Xbox? Don't know why, because it just everybody was speaking about it and I kind of got caught in with the hype of that. Let's try something different. And I actually had the Xbox under my arm, and I was in Game or whatever, Electronics Boutique, at the time before it became Game, with the Xbox under my arms, and the queue was taking too long, and I just got impatient, and the buyer's remorse kicked in before I bought it and put it back on the shelf and walked away. And as then up at the top of the shop mall that I was in, the local one, there was HMV, so I looked in there and then I saw the GameCube there again. I was like, screw it, I'm buying the GameCube. I've always liked Nintendo. What am I doing? So I picked that up and I did buy Mario Sunshine and whatnot. And what a fantastic console. I've got a solid list of about the same. I must have about 40 odd games for it that I bought in the time. And the Metroid games. The
Metroid ones were fantastic.
Yeah.
And the Star Wars game, right?
Yeah, the Star Wars game, yeah. The Rogue
Resident Evils, yeah. Great titles on it.
Yeah, and it's endless. It's absolutely endless. And I love Zelda Wind Waker. I think that's an underrated game, to be honest. I can go back to that time and time again and play. So I didn't regret it. And a bit like yourself, Garron, I got the freeloader thing, because what I discovered, as soon as there was a PAL release of a title, you went on eBay and the American releases were cheaper. So I just started buying up scores and scores of American imports on eBay. So half my collection is that run off freeloader that I got, £10 cheaper than the PAL release. So I was like, screw it, I'm fine putting another disc in just to swap that over. I just sometimes forget when I did fire it up later on in years, and it's like, why is this not loading? Oh shit, it's the American one, and nearly forgot. Yeah, great fun with it. And I've never regretted a Nintendo console also, even the Wii U. I've always got something from it and always had great games that you played through to completion as well. That's the whole point. There's a kind of staying power with a lot of Nintendo's games, more than what I feel with a lot of other games, that eventually, if it's just too long, my mind just wanders and I just go to the next shiny thing. So many happy years with it. Right, Al, so it was your idea and that, so let's focus on you for a little second then, in terms of how we went about in the sort of technical fashion of setting it up on the Dolphin emulator, if you don't mind.
Sure, yeah, that's no problem. So, I think the idea was, wouldn't it be great if we can actually all get together? We talk about it all the time because, you and I live fairly close, but even then, busy lives, it's sometimes hard to get around to each other's houses. So I was thinking GameCube, some great quality titles in there like we talked about, lots of multiplayer ones. Wouldn't it be great? But again, we're separated by hundreds of miles. So it was kind of when we were talking about it, Dolphin emulator, we've all got, Garron and I have actually got the GameCube still and got all the physical stuff. But yeah, we're separated by hundreds of miles. So the Dolphin emulator itself, there's a really cool section to that for Netplay. So within the Netplay, you can configure yourself as a host. You can easily configure yourself on your own home router / firewall, a port forwarding rule, which basically takes that over to your machine in the house. So I just set that up very quickly. It's very easy. I'll do a little bit on the video when people are watching that. So you set your connection type, you do a traversal server, you set yourself up as a host, and that's in essence it. I then just give you guys my external IP address, my IPv4 address at the time, which you can just look up from Google. And you guys, on your side, go to your Netplay within Dolphin emulator and click on the connect. Put those details in, and you'll appear within like a little Netplay players room. And I configure our controllers just to make sure that we're all connecting to our own controller, and click start on the game. There are a few caveats to it as well. You have to make sure we've all got the exact same ROM version that's been downloaded. So that was one thing. Yeah. And there's a couple of quirky settings within Dolphin itself around the advanced configuration. There's a setting for enable write-back cache, which is to do with the CPU write-back cache, and it can have an impact on performance. So you should leave it disabled unless it's actually needed. So I think we found some games worked really well with it on, and then other games we would get a black screen of death, and you'd have to go and fiddle around with that setting and turn it off again. So, but generally speaking, really, really straightforward, really simple.
And then the minute it's all running, it is just like we're literally sitting in the same living room on the same couch, and the free ports on the controller. You have the master override to choose the settings in the game, don't you? You know, start free players. We can all then move it about and change the characters we want to be, change our names or so what. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and then what did we do? We went on the Discord chat channel, didn't we? Just to sort of hurl abuse at each other at the same time. So it was like we were. It's like we were there.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. Now for yourself, Garron, obviously I know you're more a purist in terms of real hardware, as and when you could. Is this one of the sort of first experiences you've delved into the Dolphin emulator much?
Yeah, I hadn't. I've heard Paul talk about it a lot. I'd never used it, but thanks to Al, I downloaded it. I played on a Mac. I think that was really good.
That's another good point. It didn't matter that if you were on Linux version or the Mac or the PC. Once it's running, any type of computer can all connect to each other as well.
Yeah, I think the key thing again was just to make sure we were all running the same version of Dolphin. So I think we were all running 2506A, and we all had to be on the same version for it.
Yeah, so I'd never played it before. Obviously, never played Dolphin before, but it's very easy to set up. A few tweaks along the way for it. I think on the Mac version, it's a bit harder to use. You have to do firmware updates to get on the adapter to get the Gamecube controller to work via USB. But the actual emulator itself is very good with. I started playing it with an Xbox controller, so it's very easy to set up and use.
Yeah, that's the trouble with the GameCube controller itself. It is a very uniquely styled, love it or loathe it Marmite experience. More than that when we're actually playing the games, like what Al and I had alluded to earlier. We had purchased a Wii U or third party Wii U GameCube adapter, so it's the 4 ports into USB, plugging that directly into your USB port in your computer, and it just recognises it straight away, so you can map the authentic controller to the key presses on the game, so it's very easy to set up.
I mean, that worked really well. It's like what, £10 or £11 or something for that thing. Mm-hmm. Bargain.
Yeah,
so again, probably pop a link to that and a couple of other things in the show notes. I'm sure. Yeah.
Absolutely, it'll be handy if anybody wants to buy that, or you can even buy the, third-party GameCube knockoff controllers with USB on them. Whatever way you want to do it, just depends on how much authentic you want to play the game. It works fine, as Garron alluded to with just an Xbox controller. You get used to it. It's just fine. It's just Nintendo and their B's and A's round opposite way. It just, when you're jumping between systems, it fries your freaking brain. It needs to be a nationalised, international standard. None of it. Stop mucking about with it. Yeah. Anything else you want to say in the emulator, or shall we move on to the games?
Yeah, let's move on to the games themselves. I think we've covered the emulator. I mean, it works really well. So yeah, definitely give it a try, folks.
Okay then, so the first game was my choice, and it is the one and only Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. Now, it came out in Japan and North America in 2003 and not into the EU region until 2004. That's the worst thing back then, lads, wasn't it? It's not like that in this world anymore, where there was a regional delay, unless you were, especially like yourself and many other hosts on RGDS who loved to do imports, that you just had to wait. You read about it in the magazines and were so excited if or when it was going to be released in the UK. Now, back to Mario Golf then. So it was made by Camelot. Now they've really done wonders with the sports-like games, the sort of Mario World sports-like adaptations that they made as a third-party developer for Nintendo, and I think many of their games are admirable. Now, they had already experience in making Everybody's Golf for the PS1, so it was going to be... I mean, that was an amazing game anyway, so there was much confidence that this version was going to be really good. Now, it follows on, I suppose, most of the mechanics that we saw in the console previous on the Nintendo 64 and the Mario Golf 64 games. So we're talking just better fidelity, more courses, things like that. So there's 7 courses to play on this particular one, right? So we have out of the courses, we've got Lakitu Valley, Cheap Falls, Shifting Sands, Blooper Bay, Peach's Castle Grounds, Bowser Badlands, and Congo Canopies. So you can see there's a really good selection, and it's the usual ones, the kind of places you're used to driving around in Mario Kart and things, the areas and that, they're all familiar territories. Some are better than others. I don't like the Congo Canopy one because it's just going all over the treetops. It feels more like Crazy Golf rather than a conventional golfing game, but you're only open to the first 2 until you career progress in the main game anyway. So we played Lakitu Valley, which has a basic course. It's surrounded with trees. It is a beginner friendly welcome to the game tutorial type level. We were still crap at it.
Well, I was going to say, you say that, then folk are going to watch the video and see us hacking around on 12 shots in a hole.
Yeah.
And 5 putting, you know.
Now you can choose out of 16 characters in it, and all have the different attributes per character. So you got Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Koopas, Wario, Bowser, you name it. They're all in there. So the attributes would be how far their power shots can go and actual height of the ball. Now it depends on the style you play. The higher the ball, when you've got the winds and they're strong in a particular direction, it's going to affect the ball. So it's a bit like Mario Kart as well. When you choose, you have a preference of play to the style you like, and once you get used to the game, you have your favourite characters that you always go to because you perform better with them. But I think it's a really enjoyable golfing game, and it's a game that I wouldn't go back to and play single player. I always liked a golfing game with mates, and I've always been partial to golfing games throughout the years, whether it be leaderboard during the 8-bit days, or PGA golf on the Amiga, or the plethora of like Turf Masters in the arcade. I just loved, but never in single player. Always loved playing it with people, so it was a pleasure. Real pleasure playing this with you guys, even if we always landed in the rough or in the bunkers or out of bounds or, whatever. Because you can taunt the other player. Remember we were doing that to Garron. He was putting and we were hitting the button. It's like... and then the speech
It's a me.
So,
not off-putting whatsoever.
No. But a really enjoyable golf game with a slight different twist on this, where normally when the swingometer, if you want to call it, your power bar goes up, you can choose the height, the power, and when it comes back down, normally that's where your accuracy is where you hook or slice. In this game, automatically, unless you swing with B, it locks automatically with a straight hit. The difficulty in this game is stopping the power bar at the power strength you want, it really moves up fast. And the time you press it, it always feels like there's some kind of latency, isn't there? And it just like, that's not the hit I want to do. And then you end up doing a weaker shot. You thought you were going to get over the water stretch or the bunker. You end up plonk landing right in it. But despite that, and it had been many years since been playing it, I think we had a really good mini round of playing it and had a really lot of good fun. I mean, what do you guys think of it? I'll go with you first, Garron.
You know, I'm a huge fan of this game. I've loved it ever since it's come out. And like I know we've said before, Gordon, we're both fans of golf games.
Yeah.
Of it. But I think what you've said there is really accurate, but also it is on the surface quite a simple game. You can really get by just playing with one button, really, the A button all the way around. But it's when you say like you use the power shots, you can use the D-pad to position where you're going to hit the ball to give it top spin, back spin, and that it's got the traditional. I didn't realise Nintendo had actually pioneered it, the power meter. But when you get back to kind of the hitting zone, you can like hit twice quickly to get a top spin or B to get back spin on it. So it's got lots of little nuances on the game, and then people will see our professionalism as we played the easiest course and how great we really were. But when I put some code in to play some of the later courses to so I haven't played them for a long time. I couldn't find a memory card of it. But you've really then got to have that risk reward of, do you go the long way round, or do you have to use that power shot and the hook of a slice to get it through a canyon to try and get past? I think when we play the single player game, the first course is quite easy, but when we played it together, you've got the banter, haven't you, and a bit of the pressure, and we're going through it. But it's just so much depth to the game. Like the animations, if you get a birdie or a bogey, are great from your player, and they're also so very different, I think, aren't they? And there's loads of little hidden features. Like in some of the later levels, you can hit into the flower beds and all the little Pikmin can run out of them, and loads of touches like that. But yeah, there's lots of depth to the game. Although it looks very accessible and it is just to play, the longer you play it, like you've said, if you get onto the later courses and you win the tournaments, there's more and more to do, and loads of different modes, isn't there, to play, even like single player. I like playing it single player, but yeah, there's modes like the ring mode of hitting it through the rings. But I say it's quite accessible just to have a fun game like we did. But it's one of the better golf games, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I've missed this, you know that. I really have. It's been so many years since I've even bothered to fire it up. And now you're talking about single player mode, even though I tend not to. I might just do that and go for a single player campaign and just open everything up again. It's been far too long, and just get good at it again. That's the point.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what about yourself, Al?
Yeah, just reiterate what you guys both said. It's just a really fun, very well put together golf game. It was, it's solid. I used to play, back in the day, leaderboard as well on the 8-bits, and a lot of Tiger Woods golf on the Xbox and stuff like that. And I actually did like playing single player a lot. So I did record, after we all did some Netplay on this one, I did record some single player footage as well. And did actually, I think,
just to show that it was us that was dragging you down.
Yeah. Pretty much, that's why I did it.
Yes, okay. I saw what you did there.
You saw right through my cunning plan now. Look, I can get a hole in one. Honest, no, I can't. But no, there's like Garron says, there's lots of extra single player parts to it as well, right? There's some training, there's a speed golf, there's the ring shot challenges, there's the tournament itself, right? Unlocking stuff, and there's
infinite
a lot of nuance.
replayability, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of nuance to it as well, right? You can just do the auto, right, and make it quite an easy hit, and the timing's a little bit off. I'd say the putting is the hardest, actually.
Yeah.
If you leave it, as you'll see in the video of me, if you leave it a fraction short several times, that is very infuriating, because you almost have to like double tap the button to stop it with the minimal amount of power, and the number of times it bounced over the hole was infuriating.
I will say, I think there's a lot of play and depth on a GameCube controller, right? I think there's more delay. Before the device came, I had to go with the Xbox 360 controller, and because they're quite tight, responsive buttons, I found my response time was a lot faster.
Yeah,
it's not latency. It's not latency created by the adapter. It's just there's a lot of play on those buttons. It's quite clicky clanky, So, what did you think of the upscaling of this game? It looks gorgeous
it looks fantastic.
Yeah, really,
absolutely amazing.
The best it's ever looked in upscaling mode. It just looks gorgeous. Really good. Really pleased with it. Anything else you want to say in this one before we move on?
No, I think it's really good, but just one bit with all the games we're going to talk about. They're all, if you wanted to buy them for your GameCube, they're all like under £20. I know £20 is £20, but for the amount of game in some of these games we're talking about, I think there's a lot of value for money. And like Al said, all of the options and that, it'll keep you busy for a while.
Yeah, I did have a look because I was intrigued to see, typically there's the retro tax on everything, isn't there, right? You look at something, you think, Jesus, how much is that? But most of the stuff for the GameCube was pretty reasonable still.
On to our second game now, and it was Drisky that actually chose this one for us because we need to bulk it out a bit, so I'll discuss this one in Paul's absence, and this is Super Monkey Ball 2, which was released over the period of 2002-2003, considering, regional variations and releases at the time, and it continues from its predecessor, Monkey Ball 1, which I'm sure everybody's played either in arcade or on the GameCube itself. In fact, it was even Monkey Ball games got released on the PS2 and whatnot else after that. Wasn't exclusive necessarily to the GameCube. It continues the whole Marble Madness style gameplay. So you control a little monkey and a little ball, and you tilt the controller that tilts the maze-like stages left and right, forward and back, so the momentum goes faster than the ball, and it's just tricky balancing act stuff that you have to get to the goal with your little monkey, and the levels progressively get more and more difficult. It's very simple gameplay. Again, a great game to play with friends because of the hilarity and banter when the person before them, who is nothing worse than being the first person to attempt on the course that you've not tried before, because it's just going to go disastrously wrong. Everybody's going to laugh at you and learn from your mistakes, and they still do shit and you get to laugh at them anyway. So it's such an amazing game. There are also 12 multiplayer mini games. 6 of them are reprisals from the predecessor, but there's Monkey Race, Monkey Fight, Monkey Target, Monkey Billiards, Monkey Bowling, Monkey Golf, and stuff like that. But we just went down to the nitty gritty and we played the middle skill level in multiplayer mode, didn't we? Which was called, it was Novice, and it was, what was it?
Oh.
Whatever it was.
Super advanced, I don't know.
Amateur and an expert, I think. Novice, amateur, and expert, I think it was.
I think it was beginner, advanced, and expert. So
that's
I think we played advanced.
Yeah, we played advanced. My God, that was advanced after a while. There was some mistakes. Again, you're probably watching the video on the YouTube version at this point, see how crap we did. But what a blast we had with this one, guys, didn't we? I mean, I'll go to yourself first. I take it you owned this back in the day, you know the game well and such.
I think I actually had the original one. I think I only had the first iteration of this game. I don't recall playing number 2 until we did this just the other day there to record. So Yeah, it's the same but new, and really good fun. The graphics are still amazing. It plays really well. Very sensitive to the controller. Yeah, it's a brilliantly fun game, but I think made more fun when we did multiplayer and just ripping the piss out of each other, basically, for all the mistakes that we kept making, as you will see.
Oh, we made many, didn't we? I mean, so...
Only slightly embarrassing.
I mean, it's been years since I've played this particular one, and the courses just get unbelievable on the middle stage really quickly, where your eyes start playing tricks on you. The way because there's a lot of moving platforms, not just the main platform you move. That's the trouble. I mean, that one where Garron was buggering up first, I think you went first, he went first, and then we discovered there was a switch behind us that stops those oblongs, so I'm swelling.
Yeah. And even then, when you switched it off, because there's like you say, there's little switches where you can slow things down and speed things up and things. So even once we figured that out, I think we still died about 10 times each in a row. Do you know what I mean? It was, not our day.
No. And any thoughts yourself, Garn?
Yeah, it's a fantastic little party game, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Far prefer playing it with you guys than single player. Played it in the arcades, played the original one a bit on console, had great fun with it. But I think playing it, for me, single player, once you get to that kind of frustration level, I just kind of tended to stop, if I'm honest, I think, with it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think a bit of a competitive edge, wasn't there, for this? It's like, once you lucked your way through that level, it was like, right, I'm not giving up. I can do this. But I couldn't.
And it just, also with being on Discord, just chatting to each other, we're doing it and taking a mickey, and hearing when you're playing it, hearing everyone's like oohs and ahs if you go too fast, and you kind of edge out, like the viewers will see when I went through off the tunnel, but managed to luckily get back into it again as you go through. So I think that was a good one. I played a bit of 1 and 2 in the week, and it's just an iteration of a really good game and concept. I can't tell a great deal of difference between the two. I think it's difference in the characters, but it is one of those ones that easily can lose like half hour of fun with this one, isn't it? It's very good. The physics are good. It doesn't seem unfair, but you can always sort of tell what you need to do kind of slightly differently to try and get to the goal. And trying to get the bananas is a whole new world of pain on it, I think, isn't it? When they put them on the edge and the placement's really good.
I'm not brave enough to try and get them. I just make it to the goal by almost the 60-second timer.
It's skin of your teeth.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the trouble as well. So even if we had managed to get past beginner and done advanced and done expert, it unlocks master. So there's another extra set of levels. I mean, and that's not even playing the main game like we do, or the other challenges, just for us to muck about with these. So, and beginner has 10 stages. It's a bit too easy, beginner. Then advanced is 30 stages. Expert's got 50 stages. So there's a lot there. There's a lot there for playability, and it doesn't matter then going back to levels you've played before, especially in multiplayer, because you want to do better. I remember that one. I know how to do that one a bit better, or so you think. But it's a tricky beast. It's that one where there was almost like a water flume going down. It had holes and gaps in it.
Yeah.
How many times did that just go dreadfully wrong for us?
Yeah, quite a lot. Was it Coaster or something like it's called?
Yeah,
That was oh my god.
Yeah, but
like you say, there's a lot of main levels for single player. Multiplayer is where it's at, I think, for that. Mm-hmm. But the little party games, I think they would be. It's a shame we didn't get a chance to try them. They could have been quite fun as well, with the bowling, and
some of them are really good. I'm trying to think of the other ones, because there's
Monkey Fight would have been quite good. The bowling, the billiards, that would be quite good.
Even a game of baseball or tennis on it would be. Mm-hmm. There's a whole dogfight one. So there's a lot to play and a lot to replay. But again, is another title that is just packed brimming with so many extra features that I always wonder if players truly milk these games for all they're worth or just stuck to the main thing.
Yeah. Well, they probably got as far as the middle level and then gave up, like we did.
Yeah. I mean, I've always liked this. I really do, and I do like having a go of it at Arcade Club, or there's one in NQ64 in Edinburgh as well. With the big phallus banana as well. But I'm so used to playing it with the left thumb that you automatically go and play it with a joystick with your right hand.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a kind of different thing. I mean, it's very analog and very sensitive if it's been maintained well in the arcades. NQ64, not so much. Arcade Club, you know that. They'll look after their things. So, yeah, it's good. So another brilliant game that I really enjoyed this one. I got a lot of laughs playing with you guys with this. And we played it, we recorded it for quite a good while. That the footage of this is massive, so it showed how long we actually played it for.
We did stick with it for quite a while. It was a good, but like you say, it was a good laugh. It was just fun, ribbing each other a little bit about it and the mistakes that we kept making, and then you do the same thing yourself and you try to one up.
But what's good about it is each player has a maximum of 60 seconds each. So
you're not waiting forever to have your turn, are you?
Whereas there's some people you play in golf, like you play, fucking take your shot, you know, fucking lining it up, throwing fucking grass in the wind to see what direction the bloody wind's going. And so it's a quick fire round, and that's what makes it really good. It's instant, perfect for a kind of multiplayer game with mates round, few beers, some pizzas, and a bit of a laugh. Brilliant. Anything else you guys want to say on this?
No, I think they say better with friends, and lucky we didn't have to keep buying credits to put in it, because that would have been costly.
It might have been expensive, that's for sure.
Yeah. Very good. Right, Garron, it's your choice. You want to introduce us to this one?
So, my choice for multiplayer Mayhem was Mario Power Tennis. Love a tennis game. Again, trusted to be developed by Camelot, the software house that makes Camelot Game Planning, the software house that does so many Nintendo sports games. And a lot of games on Nintendo. They started on Saturn and then went to Nintendo. They've done the Golden Sun RPGs for the GBA and DS, and then went on to like the N64 with the tennis and golf, and then onto this one, and allegedly onto the Switch 2. They've got a game that's near end of development, but haven't told anyone what it is.
Oh, right.
So it is a tennis game with Mario, so it has all the charm, animation of the golf game we played. It brings more depth to a tennis game. It's been developed with Nintendo's blessing, and some bits I learned did a bit of research about the game. I never realised Camelot made Waluigi, and they made him to be a doubles partner in the game. So I thought that was unusual that they've let someone else develop a character that's gone back into the mainline Nintendo stable. So that it came out in Japan and America in late 2004, and like you said, Gordon, a delay for us. We had it 2005 for PAL, and it was actually developed alongside Toadstool Golf. So some of the team, they worked on both the games at the same time, and I think that shows with the main characters. It's got an amazing intro movie, so some of the bits that we sometimes skip through the movie, but I'd say to the viewers, if you are going to play it, just watch the intro movie. It's very good. It's quite long, and gives a bit of an indication of the courses that you will have, or the courts you'll play when you play the game. So with the tennis game, you've got single player, doubles, and you can play 3 and 4 players. We played it with 3 players when we did it. You've got your normal shot selections, like normal, flat, lob, and top spin. The courts around them, this is where it comes into, like, again, the Mario way. There's 10 different courts, I believe, like Bowser's Castle, you've got DK's Jungle Court, Luigi's Court, Blooper Cooper Court as well, and a classic Mario one. So you've got a lot of courts with animation going on around it. The game is really fun. There's lots of special moves with it, and each character's got a really exaggerated special move. So, or power move they're called. Like Mario gets a hammer and he'll do a spin and he'll hit the ball back really hard. DK goes into a cannon, and you can play the game without the power moves. But one of the things I think that we found when we played it, it's quite easy to power up the power moves, and you're always kind of doing a power move, and you can't skip it. So you've got to watch a whole animation of a power move.
Yeah, that's the frustrating bit. Yeah.
It makes it.
I think you'll see from the footage, it dragged out one of the games almost like forever, because we almost all had a power move at one point, and just when you thought you'd won the point, the power move would come out and it would save it and smash it back, and then oh my god, it went on forever.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the kind of the big negative bits from playing it. But when you play it solo, you don't seem to gain power to enable the power move that as quickly as you did when we played it with all of us on there. Yeah. It's got lots of different modes, so it's got the normal tournament, and I think it's got the Mario touches there, that the tournament brackets, you go through like the Mario green tubes. You've got gimmick courts, so they're courts that have got, maybe like Luigi's Mansion's court has got ghosts on it that if you run into them slow you down. Some have got moving platforms, you have to move away from them. You've got like a ring shot mode, an item battle mode, where on the net there will be things like Mario Kart really, and if you hit one of those, it will like hit a shell to your opponent and things. That's quite a fun one to play. Again, it does lengthen the game out single player as well, which is really good. And there's special modes in it, like special games modes in it, and learning modes like there is in the golf game we chatted about earlier. But it's way more fun to play this as multiplayer. I've never played it as multiplayer before until we did it on the Netplay. But it is a good game to play single player. So what did you guys think of this one?
I totally agree. I thought it was a lot of fun, lots of typical Mario-esque animations. The graphics are really good, especially when they're upscaled as well within the emulator. The Netplay definitely adds that extra fun to it, as we're ribbing each other as usual, and some of the power moves were absolutely ridiculous at points. One of our games probably went on for about 20 minutes, I think, just to win one game, because it was constantly back and forward.
Weren't we?
I was like, I might just not press a button this time, see what happens, get past it. I did try single player, and I enjoyed the single player game. What I didn't like was some of the special games. I think I tried like Artist on the Court and Chain Chomp Challenge, which I kind of knew what I was supposed to do, but I think I've probably show some footage of that as well. And I was pretty bad.
It's kind of the weakest of special games of all the games
I think
done.
So.
Yeah, I agree.
But the main tennis game itself, like you say, there's hard courts, grass courts. There's enough variety in the shots. Fundamentally, it's a good tennis game, right? And it was good fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Like with golfing games, I've always enjoyed a fun tennis game to play. Even way back playing Match Point on the ZX Spectrum by Scion. I mean, that came out, 1983? And it was wonderful to play, and I absolutely loved it. Again, but played that a lot with my brother. It was, to me, a tennis game. Even going back to a Binatone or Grandstand system, tennis on that, there was no AI in that. So it's a kind of game where you've always played it against an opponent, haven't you? Yeah. And that's the point. So I absolutely adored playing this with you. Unfortunately, I was chummed up with a CPU component, my opponent. So on my side, he was shit. Right, you could
blame him.
Yeah, definitely. They were picking on me, listeners. These two teamed up on me and just got annihilated by them as well. May I say? But it was good fun. I really enjoyed it. Everything you say, the power moves were just a bit too frequent. They're a nice touch. Don't get me wrong, but the options are there to turn them off. We just decided to play it in vanilla mode, so it's not a deal breaker. It's
not a massive criticism. I think, like Garron said, we seem to just accumulate the power shots more when we played multiplayer. Yes. When you're doing it in single player, you might only get one every now and again, which means the games are a bit fairer.
I feel sorry for the people that are so involved in the ancillary animations on the game, because when you play a game of tennis, your eye is always on the ball, isn't it? Mm-hmm. There's no time to look at Toad being the umpire. Right, and his little head moves left and right all the time, and there's so many wonderful touches of animation, and the graphics are just beautiful. And the Mario universe, I suppose like many universes, and again, cartoony games characters can lend themselves to games of this nature. So there we've had golf, now we've had tennis. I'm sure if you liked cricket, right. Not for me, but I'm sure Mario Cricket would probably end up being a fun game, because you do have the baseball one, don't you? That exists as well. I've never really played that, to be honest. So,
and we nearly picked the football game, Super Mario Strikers.
That's actually all right for a football game, and it's arcadey enough that it makes it really enjoyable.
Well, I stayed away from it because I know you're loathing of football generally, but you're right.
The odd football game I will play.
Well, I think you're right. That one has got a bit of an arcadey feel to it. So I think it's a bit more forgiving for if you're not a massive.
It's got a lot
fan.
of power moves again, like this game. Where here we go again. Yeah, but no, they've done well. The creativity in this has been fantastic. They've delivered a wonderful tennis game. I mean, that's another fantastic Camelot title. It's a really good choice, Garron.
It also links to, I know when some listeners might remember, I've done a couple of shows with Paul and he kind of asked what I was playing, and I said, well, I'm playing Super Mario Golf on the Game Boy Advance. Mm-hmm. See, that links into the Gamecube, and you can import your players with their stats from the Game Boy version of the game. And if you use them, obviously in the Gamecube game, it goes back to the GBA. So it's really good.
That's cool.
That's an unusual touch. I mean, not many things used the link, well, a few games I think we'll talk about later, use a link cable. Mm-hmm. But linking it the GBA game into this game I thought was a really good touch as well.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so another thumbs up, guys. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, that was good fun.
As a little break before we go into your choice of game, Al, we were obviously having a little chat about, rather than emulation, if people wanted to do some mods on their GameCubes. You've got some first-hand experience on doing this, haven't you?
Yeah. I tried doing something back in the day. Actually, I can't remember the whole ins and outs of it, but there was something when you had the broadband adapter, you could use the Phantasy Star online game and actually kind of turn it into almost like you could point it to your local PC as a web server and point your GameCube towards like a ROM that you've downloaded. So that was like the early days. Mm-hmm. I remember that from back in the day when I had it. But more recently, I've been looking at stuff, and there's the Pico Boot install, which I'll put in the show notes as well. I think it's based upon like the tiramisu hack for it, and it's got a Swiss knife. It's one of the bits of software. So there's a whole list of things that you need to do to prep it. Yep. But ultimately, if you get a little Pico Boot, you can solder that into the motherboard in a few different points. It's very small. It's a little bit fiddly. It does take a steady hand, and
now you're saying you've got your original, the GameCube, like all of us, that you bought back in the day, very robust system that
exactly still working, and I go to open it up and I was having a heart attack. I was saying that to you guys earlier, right? It's like I was so nervous because I was like, I don't want to break my original GameCube. I'm thinking I was actually looking at eBay, should I buy another one just for trying this out, but it wasn't too bad, to be honest. And yeah, I'll put a link in the show notes. Very easy to do, and yeah, ultimately then you get an SD card with your favourite ROMs, and it's very, very simple to load up into the Swiss boot menu and load whichever game you want. So very simple. And then Garron was mentioning a minute ago that there's an alternative version. Do you want to talk to that, Garron, or I can carry on?
So that was a crowdsourced optical drive emulator. Got last year. I think the original price was like $38, and they're going to release more. And it also had a more expensive model that came with an Ethernet connection. So it is a solderless kind of version of what Al's just described. With an SD card, you can also get games onto your system via Wi-Fi as well. So again, it's quite easy to install, and you get SD card and it boots up into a menu. But also this, you don't have to take out your original optical drive. It just slots into the base of the console. It comes in 3 little boards that you put into the console. And I think it's a very easy way of doing it, because I didn't fancy doing any soldering.
Well, you don't want to lose your disk functionality as well. Even though you can have all the games that you want to load into it, you still own the discs. And if you so choose, I just want to fire up my disk, then you can.
Yeah. Well, the Pico boot's the same. It leaves your optical drive intact
sorry,
as
I
well.
misunderstood what you were saying there. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's a really small board, and it just fits like into the bottom of the GameCube, and you solder it into a few points. So you get to choose when it boots whether you boot up into like the Swiss mode, which is lets you pick off the SD card, or you can let it boot normally into your optical drive. So that's good. But if I'd known the flippy drive existed and it was solderless, I think this is newer though, right? It's a bit newer. I think I did the Pico boot maybe this time last year. So the flippy drive looks like an excellent solution.
And it started to be delivered this year, so I had mine delivered when we first started talking about doing the show. Mine was delivered, and it does use like the Pi Pico, one of the newer boards of those. But I think it is a great solution. We'll put links to both of them in the show notes, won't we?
Yeah.
And I was asking earlier as well, then there is an HDMI mod that's doable, but it's quite fiddly. Is that right, Al?
Yeah, I haven't done too much into that because I've got a nice CRT telly where I've got my GameCube hooked up to. Yeah. So but I think there is an option for that too if you wished.
So, lots of things to do with it, that's for sure. So so if you want to just be a purist and play the real hardware and have multiplayer fun, but you don't have a CRT, or you just want to do these kind of things, and at least that abilities to future proof if you want your GameCubes to play on modern TVs, or get the games that you're struggling to find online, or they're too pricey or whatnot. At least there's an option that way.
And it also breathes life if you've got a console that is broken, like the drive's broken, or you don't want games. I think both those two solutions are fantastic if you want to play on a CRT and not have a great physical collection.
Right, Al, it's your game, mate. What you got for us?
Well, I chose Soul Calibur 2.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. I mean, I do like a fighter. I'm not obsessed with them, I will say, and I'm also not very good at them, but I do like a good fighter. So, Soul Calibur 2. It was out in the arcades in 2002, and it came to the GameCube a year later. Little bits about the game. Originally intended to be released on Sega's Naomi arcade board, built on the Namco System 246. Came to the PlayStation 2, came to the GameCube, and then it came to the Xbox as well. I guess there are many characters in this. There's a few special ones that they've brought over as well. So they've brought over Hayashi Mishima, I'm sure I'm saying that incorrectly, from the Tekken game. They've brought over Spawn as well, Al Simmons from the fictional character book.
Yeah, that depends on the console. So that was...
Yes, this is for the GameCube I'm talking about, specifically. Yeah. And then, but for the GameCube, they also brought over Link, so from Zelda. There's about 11 stages to this for fighting within. You've got your typical arcade mode. You've got a versus battle, time attack, survival. There's a team battle and a versus team battle. And a practice arena as well, if you so wish. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I'm sure most people will be very familiar with this game. It's got a plot.
No one cares.
Nobody probably cares about the plot, to be honest. Some sword, Soul Calibur, whatever. Anyway, yeah, it's a good beat 'em up. It really, really, really tight mechanics, I thought, for this game, for the day especially, and going back to it as well. Got great reviews. I think the GameCube game actually, within Metacritic and others, actually scored about the highest out of the other versions as well. So they all scored well, and it was a commercial success, certainly. But more than that, it was a lot of fun, and a lot of fun multiplayer especially. So although we couldn't get together, but Netplay brought this to life really for me, and I think we had quite a good bit of fun kicking each other, punching each other.
Unfortunately, with that one, then you couldn't have a third party just watching on as each other battled, because it was only a 2-player game. It's not a 3-player game or a 4-player game. That was only so you felt like Billy No Mates when you were kicked out of the battle.
That's right. Yeah,
you just had to listen to the banter on the Discord. I mean, I suppose someone could have shared their screen, and
we probably in hindsight we probably should have streamed it or something so that we could all watch it. Right,
but that was the only one where you felt maybe a little bit more apart to a degree.
Yeah.
But it was fine. It worked well. It was really good.
Yeah. I mean, so the graphics are good. It's got. I do like the mechanic within the game itself anyway, sort of that step and avoid system. So as you see somebody coming in, you can step, avoid and counter. And yeah, you'll probably see some from some of the video footage. We got the hang of that fairly quickly. But it's just a really fun game. It's good fun single player as well. I've got some single player footage that I recorded as well. Yeah, I mean, what did you think of it? I'll go to Garron. What did you think?
I love Soul Calibur. It's one of my favourite fighting games. I played the first one loads on the Dreamcast. It's one of the few arcade games I can probably finish at Arcade Club. And I hadn't played a huge amount of the second one, if I'm honest. So I had this game on Japanese release, so a Japanese version of it. I didn't absolutely really enjoy it. This time I played a lot as Link, and that's quite... I thought it was very good. Really, I think the music is good. Mm-hmm. All the touches are there from... Even like in Link's stage, you've got some music from Hyrule. You've got the same music when he wins a battle with it. So I played a lot with that. There's a lot of depth to the game, like he said. I like the mechanic of it. That sidestepping is essential, isn't it, to getting out of the way and trying to manoeuvre your opponent to try and get a ring out as well.
Yeah, that's a good one.
With it.
Yeah, I like you say, like all the wee touches when they're coming in for the battle, you've got all the sort of pre-banter as well, haven't you, from the characters, which is nice.
And you can, unlike we were just talking about like the power moves in tennis, you can skip through these. You don't have to listen to that preamble if you don't want to.
You can skip get to the action.
You can, and when you finish it, you don't have to watch anything else. You can, again, skip through, so you can keep it very action heavy. Like I said, the animations are great. The graphics of all the fighters are very good. It's got some like Ivan out a few scantily clad women, but it isn't anywhere near the Dead or Alive level of fan service and physics, is it? That are in the game. Yeah. But yeah, there's so many bits. Even when you watch the backgrounds, and I think the stages are really well balanced, aren't they? The difference, some are in like in a cage, and some are just open on a platform. Yeah. And going through the game is brilliant. And even in single player, I did prefer it multiplayer. Going through, I'd forgotten like fighting was it Nightmare at the end. Just the flames and how he puts himself together is just fantastic fun. This game, really enjoy it.
What about you, Gordon?
For fighting games, I don't own that many in life, but I've always owned the Soul Calibur series. One, it's got swords, so you're battling with swords. It's a different kind of fighting mechanic altogether. Always enjoyed it. A bit like what you said, Garron. I milked the Dreamcast version so much for Soul Calibur 1 and absolutely adored it. It was a go-to title. Played it so much. For this, I don't know why, because I own it. Not played it near as much or as frequently. Probably because the time I got the GameCube, there wasn't as much multiplayer nights as there was with the Dreamcast. And that's the trouble with people, is that I don't know, mate. My mates didn't like Nintendo, so there was less multiplayer nights with that than any other console I used to bring around when you go around to your friends' houses. For whatever reasons, they were more preferred Sega, Sony, or an their progression of consoles. The graphics are absolutely stunning in this version. The main characters, the background animations, everything. The sound effects, the sword swishing, all the animation, the special power moves, you name it, it's gorgeous. The only downside I feel with the GameCube, because I was so used to playing it, not that the Sega Dreamcast controllers much to sing praises about, at least the buttons were in decent positioning. The GameCube controller does not lend itself to fighting. They're janky for that. They're too clicky. There's too far to travel. I'm not fighting wisely. I don't have a strategy with. It's just random button bashing. Yeah,
I know what you mean. It's like the AXYB's a little bit far away from each other, so you end up just like button mashing and sort of almost random.
And I think the C joystick, there's pre-programmed in power moves depending which direction you were going to. I was just getting a bit lost with it. It didn't stop me enjoying it and having a good battle with you guys on it. It was really good fun in that way. I mean, of course, the single player mode, and I know this is a multiplayer episode, we're not going into too much focus on the single player games, but the progression is good, and I do like that you earn the gold to buy better weaponry. And you can go back, and when you go into a battle, choose the different swords. It's not just the techniques you've learned; it's the techniques on the different weaponry you've got as well, which is really good. It's a very involved fighting game, and it's up there with some of the best. Absolutely.
I'm glad you both enjoyed it. It was definitely good fun to play with you both on that.
Yeah, really good choice. Really good choice, this one. So we all decided on individual games each, but we all agreed there was one we needed to play together, and all of us chose the WarioWare Mega Party game, and that was great fun. Now, if nobody has played the WarioWare games, they're quick round mini games, hundreds of them, where basically there's a quick instruction of what you must do. And we'll give some examples in a minute. And basically, it's split screen. There's loads of modes in the game, to be honest, but we predominantly played the four of us or three of us on the screen. And there's a spotlight that moves about and chooses your character, and it just tells you what to do. And you have literally seconds to figure out what the hell to do. And if you've not done it, you lose a life. So it's a kind of last man standing game. So this came out 2003, 2004. There's loads of single player games on it, but its heart and core is playing with friends. And what was the name of the actual multiplayer we actually played on this, Al? Because there's quite a selection to choose, wasn't there?
Yeah, we played Survival Fever initially.
That's what it was, right?
And then we played.
Well, it was the one where we obscured. The person got their instruction, and we ran about the screen blocking the instruction and jumping their way. How frustrating was that? That was hilarious. It was childish.
Childish and immature and lots of fun.
Right up my street.
Exactly.
Example of games, it just could say jump, and there's platforms to jump, you've got to get to the target. Or there's lots of things from NES and SNES games, so it could be a Metroid one where you've got to shoot the boss alien, or I'm trying to think, guys, help me out here.
Help me out. So it was like a football one where you were the goalkeeper and you had to cut, or there was the karate guy. You had to wait for the power bar to go to the top and press fire, and he chopped the bamboo in half. Or tennis game, a fish one. There was like jumping a skipping rope. There was aiming at your bowling ball at the solitary pin, getting the right angle, or the ski jump.
Yeah,
but like you say, all these random things. You get 4 or 5 seconds to try and do the level. And of course, in one of the modes, when we're jumping about in front of you, you can't even see what it is you're trying to do, which was a lot of fun.
What's good about it is if you fail and it's the next person's turn, it's random. So it's not necessarily going to choose that same level, and they've learned from your mistake. It's not something brand new that you've never seen before.
It's another one.
It's fun. Just silly micro games that aren't even graphically that attractive. They're all actually varied in different graphical styles, to be honest. Yeah. There's a lot that you have to do left and right in the D-pad, like sawn through a log or cut someone's hair or burst a balloon, brush teeth, anything. It's bizarre. It's very Japanese in that way.
Yeah. I was trying to find a few more online. It's like threading the thread through the eye of a needle all this sort of stuff. Picking the nose, finger going up the nostril. Picking the nose. Yeah.
Really good. Just silly fun. I was a big fan of that when it first came out on probably the DS I played it on, and you go up the elevator floors, and it worked really well because most of the games were stylus based, and that was fantastic for that. So from that point on, I was a huge WarioWare fan for that kind of mini game thing. Great challenges, just doesn't take a lot of time and a lot of investment from you. It says you've got a spare 5 minutes, fire this game up. But to have that ability to join you guys and just laugh at everybody's saying, what the fuck is going on in this level, or what? that was the continuous thread. What's going on? And poor Garron, I don't think you'd really played these before, had you?
No, it's the first time I played it. I was in shock. I think I was a second behind where I needed to be in every game, and you don't get that much time to do it.
No. But, sometimes you get like 3 seconds.
You didn't know if I had to press a button, move the joystick. I'm like, what am I doing? Pressure. But it's so much fun. It's
a lot of fun. Like you say, though, it's like, am I pressing fire here because it says shoot, or am I having to control something? And is it the analog joystick, or am I having to go on the D-pad? You just didn't know. And of course, I'm sure there'll be a finite number of the games, and once you've played it for hours, you will probably have played them all, right? But until you know what you're doing, it was like.
But even if you do know them, because you don't know when it's coming, and you get the duration of time you're given to register what's going on in life. I mean, I think it's
it's a split second, isn't it?
It's an age thing as well, guys. I mean, 20 years ago when you played this, your brain was a lot sharper and your mind was quicker. Playing it now is like, dead. Oh, right, that's that.
What did that say? I can't even read it. What does it say?
Exactly. I've not got my glasses on. And someone reads it out to you, you're dead.
Too late. So, Or we're jumping around because you could put the mode where you could jump around in front of the other characters. You could make your character really big as well, right? It took up like half the screen.
It was stupid. It was absolutely stupid. I think Garron was getting really annoyed with that one. It's like, this is fucking crap. I heard the frustration in his voice. We're totally ganging up my mouth.
I heard his wavebird getting chucked across the room and hit the wall. And then he was like, that was 80 quid for that.
But we didn't even scratch the surface on all the sort of sub options for multiplayer. I mean, it's certainly worth a revisit at some point. Get Paul involved as well and just play it for fun rather than having to do it for an episode. It was just a great laugh.
Yeah,
it was.
Definitely.
Right, so honourable mentions then, fellas. You got any you want to say that obviously we didn't cover, but there were some obvious ones that we just didn't want to go down the predictable route. But any ones you guys want to mention?
Well, I'll mention one, and it's not because I thought of this one. I think you might have put this one here, which is Pac-Man Versus. Mm-hmm. So I'll mention that, and that's just because I gave this one a little bit of a play within Dolphin itself. So you can emulate the GBA link cable setup as well. So for this, you run the Pac-Man versus game within Dolphin, which is the GameCube game. Now it needs the GBA emulator as well. So you can also download the Game Boy Advanced emulator. And it's fairly easy to set this up. And you end up almost with like the 2 players there locally. This isn't Netplay for this, but this was locally. You could play multiplayer, and you could again play up to 4 players. And one of you's Pac-Man, and the other folk play the Ghost. And some of you are playing within the Dolphin emulator, and some of you will be playing within the Game Boy Advanced emulator. And it worked really well. I only played it for a few minutes, but it was pretty easy to set up, and I'll maybe drop a few things in the show notes as well for that, because it was easy but a lot of fun.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, definitely, mate. I mean, it's a fantastic game that I haven't played in years, because you do need friend and particular setups and so forth to play it. It was another reason I'd put on the Zelda 4 Swords there as well. It's a bit more complicated and difficult apparently to get that working through this mode, but it would be great to have ways of playing that today, because there are games that have dropped off the face of the planet due to the more involved setup that it requires.
Yeah.
It's really good.
What about yourself? Any honourable mentions for you guys?
I mean, obviously Mario Kart Double Dash would have been a good laugh in 2-player mode.
And it would have been, and I think we would have talked about that one, but it was quite an obvious choice as well for a multiplayer. So I think that's why we skipped that one.
Same with F-Zero GX as well. I think for me, one that would have been a good laugh for 3 players or 4 players would have been Super Smash Bros. Melee. That would have been
sure. Yeah,
that would have been absolutely brilliant. It slipped my mind when we were choosing games at the point. It's like, we should have chosen that, but I think we chose a good choice.
Yeah, but
anyway,
definitely a good selection. Definitely a good selection. Yeah, and a good variation of genres as well, right?
Yeah. So I'm not complaining, but yeah, I would love to try Super Smash Bros. With you guys at some point. That would be quite a lot of mayhem in that one as well.
Yeah, for sure. Or if anybody from Discord wants to get Dolphin downloaded, and we can arrange, instead of our Jet Set Willy nights one Thursday, we could always do a bit of Dolphin
night. Yeah,
do some of that. That would be good fun.
Yeah, it would be definitely. Any other honourable mentions yourselves, guys?
No, mine would have been, we touched on it before, Mario Strikers would have been my one.
And there's probably lots more we've just not really thought about, to be honest. It's...
I think we had a little bit of chat, Time Splitters 2, there's a few other sort of multiplayer ones, but again, just tried to pick something maybe a little bit different as well.
Yeah. No, I was happy what we did and went through it. It was really good fun. Really good. Right, well, guys, thanks for joining me in this adventure, and a very good episode choice by yourself, Al. That was really good fun playing these. Been a while since I fired up the GameCube, so I don't really need much excuses to play Nintendo games, so thanks for just suggesting that, and then keeping, encouraging us. When's it happening, and it all came together, and we had some great fun. Yeah, it's just because when you wanted to record all that footage and actually play all the games together, that takes more organising and more preparation, because life gets busy for everyone. The time you get home, you've got personal things going on. What night are you free? And then you're all ready for a particular night.
And it always changes.
It always changes. It does. So that's life, and that's fine. Yeah. So it was good. So I had a blast, absolute blast with it. Definitely, if anyone in the Discord chat or anybody else is looking for advice and setting this up, please reach out in Discord, and we'll gladly give you a few pointers as well. So,
sure.
All good.
Yeah, glad we've all had a great time with it. It's a lot of fun. Thanks both.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Right, chaps, well, that's at an end of another episode, so we'll see you all on the next one, and until then, take care. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.